Bustards belong to the family Otididae. Otididae comes from otis, the Greek word for the European bustard. Otis sounds like ear, and you are correct in thinking this, for the European bustard had a featherless ear, hence the family name for the bustards is Otididae, taxonomically established by Linnaeus, the father of taxonomic binomial naming. The genus name for the Australian bustard is Ardiotis, from ardia meaning a heron-type neck, and otis again for bustard. In Australia we only have a single Ardiotis. Bustards from other continents, Africa, the Middle East, Asia, also belong to this same genera, Ardiotis. And the common feature of all these bustards from different continents is that they have long necks. Here, driving across the grasslands of northern Australia, we can find the Australian bustard, Ardiotis australis. Bustards are large terrestrial birds, but they are also quite good at flight. The largest of the bustards is found in Africa, the giant bustard. The Australian bustard is approximately 1 metre in height, with a wingspan of 2 metres. It is terrestrial, feeding in an omnivorous way on the grasslands, eating insects, invertebrates, roots, seeds, and other herbaceous material. When food sources are depleted, it flies on to greener fields. There is a minor degree of sexual dimorphism. The male is the larger of the pair, and the back of the male is also more pale, helping to distinguish it from the darker-backed female. The female also has a deeper shade of grey over the neck. Here, the bustard in the foreground, the upper neck is a little bit more grey, so probably a female. But something more noticeable is the dilatation of the neck, and the feathers over it are erect. Here again at the back of this tree, look at the throat of that bustard. The feathers are really standing out. The neck is dilated. The great bustard of India has a gular sac, but the Australian bustard, instead of a gular sac, has an esophagus that can dilate. The overlying skin of the neck is rather elastic, and this can drop down, carrying the feathers with it to very low levels, sometimes appearing like an apron, and the esophageal dilatation also gives a lot of resonance to this bird when it calls. Walking along this riverbank in western New South Wales, the grasshoppers really hop. They are disturbed, and though the bustard is omnivorous, the grasshopper is its favourite food. And the grasshoppers live in the grass plains, and this is where the bustard also resides. In this video there were initially 3 birds on the right, and then the larger, probably a male, walked over, joining 2 other birds on the left, probably also males. The Australian bustard, as mentioned, is Ardiotis australis. It is slightly smaller than most of the other bustards of the world. Yet, despite its smaller size, when it takes off, it is a magnificent flying machine. Initially with rapid wing beats to give it a lift, it then soars up into the air, carrying that large bulk of muscle, a magnificent bird to watch in flight. In the grassland habitat where it lives, it prefers grass where its head is just above the level of the grass so it can still observe. Hence this bird is extremely difficult to find in the grasslands. Often I can only find it when it wanders out towards the verge of the road. And though the numbers are larger in the grass, the most common site that I find it is on grazed country, because this problem of actually seeing the bird in the grass. Unfortunately, the numbers of bustards in Australia is dropping. This is because of loss of habitat, and also a large factor is feral animals. In early colonial days there were large flocks, but today to see a flock of more than 8 is a rarity. Rejuvenation of the population of bustards in Australia is difficult, for they are slow breeders, only having 1 or 2 eggs per season, and with any disturbance of the nesting site they will readily abandon the nest. The indigenous chefs of Australia prize the bustard, its large muscle mass and white flesh. make it a connoisseur's delight, and over the millennia the indigenous people of Australia have valued this bird as a food. Today it is a protected species. Hunting is only allowed by the indigenous people. The value of the bustard as a meal was attested to by Captain Cook. When they shot a bird at Agnes Waters and it was cooked and prepared for him, he explained that it was the best meal that he had had since leaving England. Here is a bustard on the roadside in the Kimberley. Notice that it's the roadside grass, it's not in the thick savanna grass. For the savanna grass is just too thick for it to move about and forage effectively. Driving up, I was amazed to see how close I could get to this bird. Usually they take off a lot earlier. So with luck on my side, I stopped the car, got out and walked up even closer. I was surprised that it didn't point its head to the sky and go into a freezing statue-like appearance. But the reason for this is that it wasn't in the grass, it was in the open, and very much aware of my presence. But then, as I get too close, you can see he startles, and those magnificent wings open, and the bird takes off. On behalf of Plumes of Oz, thank you for watching this video, and if you would like to subscribe, you will get notification of our next release of Australian birds in the wild.